Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Waifuware, the show where we take a look at all those cheap games on Steam trying to bait you into spending your hard-earned dollar at the promise of some digital apps and tunes.
Ad-friendly.
On today's episode, we're going to do things a little bit differently. If you've clicked around on Steam through the lewd side of the market, you may have come across some really low-priced games with simple and honestly meaningless titles. These games are mostly all put out by the same publisher, Tranquility Games. Today, we're going to look at 3 of their releases. First up is LSD, one of their many drug-related titles. This game was developed by Cute Anime Girls and was released on October 31st, 2017 to mixed reviews. The game costs $1.19 Canadian, but goes on sale for as little as 59 cents. So I install it, I boot the game up, and the first thing I notice is the graphics options. I set the graphics to fastest because there's no other choice. Then, well, this happened. What even is this? It honestly takes me a minute to figure it out, but this star map is a map of the stages, and I have to click and drag with a mouse to move the map around and select the first stage. Why didn't it just start me off looking at stage 1? Was that really beyond their coding ability? Anyway, I head into the first stage and we're met with our shovelware waifu and shovelware gameplay. This is a match 3 game about as basic as they come. Make a line of like objects and hit power-ups. Destroy blocks by getting matches in the adjacent spaces. Make sure to hit your target score within the allotted amount of moves and you're home free. This game is pretty inoffensive, honestly. The most offensive thing here is the ineptitude of some of its basic coding and just how insultingly easy the whole thing is. Well, I guess this is an issue too. Once you beat level 20, level 21 unlocks. But level 21 doesn't appear on the star map. If you decide to look at the map after beating stage 20, you'll have to beat stage 20 again to access 21. I don't know, if you have this game, boot it up at least once and hit nearly every button on your keyboard. Pretty much every key unlocks a new achievement. And that's about all LSD really has to offer. Since it's legal in Canada now, I guess we could try weed next. Once again, this game was developed by Cute Anime Girls and released just 3 months after LSD. It also runs $1.19 and goes on sale for as little as 59 cents. When I boot this game up, I'm met with considerably more graphics options, but I still stick with fastest, cause faster graphics is gooder graphics. Though I didn't show this in the last game, this has the same controller input selections as LSD. Man, I hope the jumping and shooting feel good. So this game starts up and I immediately notice the OST is exactly the same as the last game. So this is just another match 3 game. This one, however, is a rinse and repeat high score game on a timer, which arguably makes it an even lesser game than the last one. This time you move entire rows and columns rather than single blocks. Occasionally some items will get locked up, preventing certain moves, and you destroy the locks by creating matches on them. I guess it's more ambitious than the last title? Maybe? Probably not. Whether it's more ambitious or not though, holy Christ, is it ever a worse game. Sometimes making one move will cause other columns and rows to shift slightly. Things don't snap back into place and eventually your whole grid just looks wonky, and it becomes headache-inducing just to focus on. The low-tier waifus don't make it worth it either. My advice for this one is like the last. If you own it, open it. Mash the keyboard for achievements and never look at it again. The last game from Tranquility Games that I'm going to look at today is called NVL, and thankfully, this one is not a low-effort match 3 game. NVL, like the other 2 titles, is made by Cute Anime Girls, and it released 2 months after the first game and 1 month before the second. Yes, that's right. All 3 of these games were made and released within a 3-month window of each other. And it shows. This game will run you $2.29, but it also goes on sale for as little as 59 cents. The store page describes this one as an amazing adventure game in the genre of RPG, an interesting combat turn-based system, as in JRPG, beautiful anime girls with pantsu. Well, I don't know about the interesting part, but at least it's a departure from the other entries, and we're gonna find out firsthand if it earns its mixed reviews. So after booting up the game, this looks like RPG Maker, and low-level RPG Maker at that. First thing I notice is how squished some of these sprites look, and how this hotel sign is on the top layer rather than anchored to the background like it should be. So the story, girl and other girl need to see the mayor because reasons or something? I don't know, they're friends. I'm sorry, I guess I was just really distracted by the amount of crap this appeared to be doing wrong in the early game that maybe I missed the crux of the intro. The art in this game is just all over the place, and to be honest, I'm not entirely sure half of it isn't stolen or something. There's so many different styles that it couldn't have all come from one person. Same with the music. But if any of this is stolen, they stole some good tunes. This battle theme kind of kicks some ass. Too bad the battle itself is as rudimentary as they come. I don't know how much I can use the word basic in one review, but I want to keep this light as to not sound too repetitive. But yes, battle is basic as hell. After a while, it seemed this game decided to become a meme, too. At one point, there was all this talk about a resistance and some mayoral race or some crap, but then you get to this town where the townsfolk just shout the lyrics to All-Star at you. I feel like, despite being low effort, it's still a little too high effort to be truly funny, but not high enough effort to be even more ironically funny. There isn't too much of importance I can talk about with this game, so I think I'm just gonna show you what I consider some of the highlights. This here is one of the world's longest and most poorly executed fades to black I've ever seen, and it's clearly reused artwork from Weed. And this is apparently a game of roulette, not that you could tell. Despite the translation being broken as hell, I still wouldn't consider this the worst of the three, though I think it provides the least reason to play it, as you can't even mash your keyboard for achievements. If I had to rank these, it would be LSD, NVL, and finally Weed. If I had to recommend any of these, I'd probably shut down my channel. Maybe someday Tranquility Games will release a good game. But if they've done it, I haven't found it yet. And personally, I feel like releasing a good game might be against their business model. And you know what? All the power to them. They released quite a few games, so maybe this is just working for them. They're not good games, they're not even really worth owning, not even for the achievements. I do actually have a couple more of them in my library, and maybe someday I'll make a part 2 on these Tranquility games, but who knows. But that's all I'm gonna say on it. If you guys like this video, check out the Waifuware playlist. There's a lot more where this came from. And before you go, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share the video if you can. If you really like the content, consider supporting the show on Patreon. God knows, most of this series is demonetized as it is. As always, folks, stay ad-friendly.